Hey, I'm Amy Chang. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and this is Healthy AF. In this podcast, I'll be bringing you all things health, from the newest health strategies to how to tackle those personal roadblocks that just will not let you move forward. So buckle in. We're going to be inspired and instructed, and dadgum, we're going to have a little fun on Healthy AF. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. I am so excited about this month. All month, we're going to be talking about spirituality. And you might think to yourself, why is a health coach talking about spirituality? Well, let's just dig in and get real here for a minute. For one thing, it's on the Duke Wheel of Health. I trained at Duke, and I really love their Wheel of Health. And they call it fulfillment and purpose. Now, interestingly enough, when I first became a health coach, they sure enough had it on the Wheel of Health as spirituality. And a couple of years later, when they revamped, they renamed that section Fulfillment and Purpose. Fulfillment and purpose, or spirituality, or connectivity, or feeling your source is so important. And you can find hundreds of research studies that say people who are the happiest have some sense of a larger belonging or a bigger purpose in their lives. And on the converse, you can find lots of studies that say people who are struggling with depression and other mood issues or just feeling like meh, feel like they don't have a larger purpose or they don't know where they are. So I'm 51, right? So I've had a long time to wonder what my purpose was, think I knew my purpose, realized actually, no, that wasn't my purpose. Then that was my purpose then, but it's not my purpose now. And where am I going? Right? So it's a journey to be on. So how do you journey? And that's where most of my work comes in, is that unless we take the time to actually carve out for ourselves what our spirituality, connectedness, fulfillment, and purpose in our lives is, then we don't feel driven, inspired, comforted by any of that. So how do you do that? How do you discover your big, why am I on the planet? I mean, that's a big, huge question. Massive. And it is likely to be different when you're 50 than when you're 25. I know mine was shit. A lot has changed. And, I really kind of hope it's different when I'm 70 than it is now when I'm 50. So let's just talk a minute about how do you get there? With all my work with people and with my own work with myself, that's been the most time intensive, is my work with myself and my own spirituality. Presence. Being present is a necessity. You can't discover your spirituality without being present. So the question is, when are you present? I talk a lot about people living their lives asleep. I did. Total autopilot, total default mode. Everything was a reaction to whatever life was throwing at me. Like, what did the kids need? Where did they need to go? What was their schedule? What did the husband need? What did work demand or volunteer demand? What did a friend ask me to do? And very little of my time was spent in real presence with myself and becoming aware of who am I and what is important to me. So when I talk to people about being present, I hear some common themes, and we'll see if they're common for you too. I hear being still. I hear reading devotionals. I hear being in church services or 12-step meetings. I hear out in nature. I hear out in nature a lot. Seems to be a really big driver. I also hear at the CrossFit gym. I hear sometimes when we're out walking, sitting with a friend, in prayer, in meditation. Some really common ones. But here's the flip side. I also hear that sometimes we're not aware and awake and present when we are doing those things. So the very thing that you used to feel so connected and drawn to and aware of yourself and aware of your purpose in the universe can also be done with a lack of presence. On the flip side, things that you never thought you would do to create your presence sometimes create your presence. I'll give you an example. And I've said this one before. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not in this way. The other day I was at the gym and I've noticed that my life has been kind of meh lately. I have a client who describes it as wash, rinse, repeat. And it was kind of feeling wash, rinse, repeat, go, 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 get stuff done, hit the to-do list. And I hadn't been into the gym in a minute, probably 3-4 weeks. And I got in there, and the workout was a death by burpees, which, for those of you who don't know, is 1 burpee on the first minute, 2 burpee, and then you rest the rest of that minute. And then 2 burpees on the second minute, rest the rest of that minute, 3 burpees on the third, so on and so on. And you go to 20 minutes. Now, at some point, you're not going to be able to do the burpees in that minute. So for me, that capped out at 11. I got to the 11th minute. I did my 11 burpees and I was like toast. So I rested for the 12th minute and then I chose the number 7. So I did 7 burpees each minute for the rest of those minutes. 7 was just hard enough to keep me having to focus on getting the burpees done and then resting adequately before the next minute started. And I noticed how I wasn't thinking about anything else but getting through those burpees. And I stopped at the top of each minute before I started those burpees again. And I checked in with me. Hey, Amy, do you still want to do this? Because you don't have to do this if you don't want to do it anymore. And each minute I sort of said, okay, yeah, I kind of do want to do this. So I kept going. A little bit afterward, I think it was later in the day, I'd gotten home, I'd gotten my shower and started working. And I noticed how full my creativity was. There was a little bit more of a bounce in my step, a little bit more positivity. And I felt more connected to me. And I realized that when I am working out and I'm at a spot where I'm still in charge of whether or not I want to finish, I was still asking myself, like, hey, I'm checking in with you. Do you want to do this? I'm not on cruise control. I'm having to put some effort in, but also I'm not dying and zoning out like, Amy, just listen to the music and zone out. It'll be done soon. I'm present. That was so clear for me that I could be present under those circumstances. And it surprised me. So the point is, sometimes when you're doing stuff that requires some focus, you do feel that sense of presence and connectivity. If you're not spending time in presencing yourself and becoming aware, I would even say, dare I say, checking in, right? Am I still doing what I want to do? Does this still feel good? Am I still willing to walk this path? What's my body telling me? What's my heart rate? How's my breathing feel? Is this something that I feel like serves a greater purpose? Do I feel connected? Who do I feel connected to? Is it animals? Is it trees? Is it the ocean? And one last thought. We've already said, well, you can't really tap into that fulfillment and purpose if you don't have some times that you're present and you're checking in with yourself, right? But also, the question always comes up about, well, what about spirituality, religion? Is it God? Is it? Stop the debating. It's on the wheel of health, okay? That tells you it's a key component to your health. If you're stuck in trying to figure out what specific belief system is the right belief system to put in your wheel of health so that you can have your spirituality and your fulfillment, just stop it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you ascribe to a Christian theology. It doesn't matter if you align more with a Buddhist framework. It doesn't matter if you simply go outside and feel connected and belonging to the universe. What matters is that you have a connection to something that is outside you, that also lives inside you, and that is greater than just you. And that'll help you remember, like, man, you're really super important. You matter. So get present and notice you, because you are precious. And also you're a little just speck of dust. Thanks for being with me on this little head trip. I'm really curious what you're thinking about in your noggin right now and where you're at on your spirituality, your fulfillment, your purpose, how it's changed through the years. Whatever it is, give yourself some grace. And tune in for next time. Subscribe, like, and share. And thanks for being with me on Healthy AF. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy AF podcast. I hope that it has helped you create a new possibility for your health and sets you into action to go get it. If you want more information or if you want to connect with me, visit my website at myhealthylife.coach. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that each new Healthy AF episode will be sent directly to you. Let's take you from where you are to where you want to go.